Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show.
Cup of Joe Wrestling Show?
With Joey Harris. A podcast for the wrestling fan on the go. So take your favorite beverage of choice and join Joey as he takes a look at some of the biggest shows on the WWE Network.
Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Joey Harris, and we are broadcasting from makeshift studios in the shadow of South Central Virginia. You can follow the show on Twitter and Blue Sky at Cup of Joe Pod. Email the show at cupofjoewrestlingshow@gmail.com. Support the show at paypal.me/cupofjoepod. I am also on Cash App and Venmo at The Joey Harris, and of course, patreon.com/babykangaroomedia for bonus episodes of the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show, the Joey Harris Super Show, the Green Room, the Book Club Baristas, and so much more, just $5 a month for hours of extra content. And as today, folks, we take a look Uncensored 95 from WCW. Uncensored 95 was shown on pay-per-view on March the 19th, 1995 from the Tupelo Coliseum in Tupelo, Mississippi. There were 5,782 in attendance. We start out with our intro. Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, and Mike Tenay welcome us to Uncensored. They run down what we're going to see and talk about the Renegade debuting in Hulk Hogan's corner in the main event. King of the Road match, Dustin Rhodes versus the Blacktop Bully. This was actually recorded a few days prior to the event, and both Bully and Rhodes would be fired for blading in this match. Rhodes would go on to better things. Bully attacks Rhodes and runs him into the truck. They can hardly stand. This probably sounded good in theory, but not so good in practice. Bully with a pile driver to Rhodes. They throw bales of hay at each other, and whatever they can find in the truck. Bully chokes Rhodes with a piece of rope. Bully grabs a fence post, but Rhodes tackles him before he can use it. They both stumble all over the place. Rhodes hits Bully with a crate. They both spend more time down or holding on than they do standing up. They are now bleeding, and Rhodes low blows Bully. They fight up on the outside of the truck, back and forth. Rhodes ducks a Bully clothesline. They both climb to ring the horn. Bully hits Rhodes to knock him off, and Bully rings the horn to win. So long, Dustin. Mike Tenay talks to Arn Anderson, Robert Parker, and Ming. Anderson says it's time to show Johnny B. Bad that he's the greatest wrestler in the world today. Parker says Bully was worth all the money that he paid. He says Ming is going to take care of Jim Duggan. Flashback to what led up to the Ming and Jim Duggan match. Martial arts match. Ming with Colonel Robert Parker versus Jim Duggan. Ming out first. He is and will always be intimidating. Duggan gets an excellent ovation when he comes out. Sonny Ono is the special guest referee. Duggan doesn't know the rules. He comes off poorly to me. He's very condescending and totally in the wrong here. This is taking way too long. Duggan finally bows and Ming kicks him in the face, and honestly, I'm not mad at it. Ming gets a 2 count. Ming takes Duggan's best punches. Duggan hits Ming with his boot. It doesn't faze Ming, and he puts a nerve hold on. Duggan breaks the hold, but Ming chokes Duggan in the corner. Ming goes back to the nerve hold. The crowd is behind Duggan, but Ming keeps knocking Duggan down. They trade blows, but Ming has the upper hand. He keeps going back to the nerve hold. Duggan fights back. A headbutt has no effect on Ming. Parker chokes Duggan with his handkerchief. Ming with a throat thrust. Duggan comes back with right hands. Duggan with corner-mounted punches. Duggan with the 3-point clothesline, but Ming gets back up. Parker gets up on the apron, Duggan grabs him, and Ono pulls Duggan back, allowing Ming to hit a sidekick to win the match. Mike Tenay interviews Johnny B. Bad with his trainer Rock Finnegan. Bad says he is at a disadvantage, but he's going to knock Arn Anderson out. We then get a feature on Arn Anderson, followed by a boxer versus wrestler match. Arn Anderson with Colonel Parker versus Johnny B. Bad with Rock Finnegan. 10 3-minute rounds. Round 1. Bad hits a quick jab. More jabs to Anderson. They tussle in the corner. Bad with the advantage. Anderson rolls out to regroup. He continues to get beat down by Bad. Anderson knocked down for a 4 count. All Bad in the first round. Rest period. Round 2. Anderson comes out and hits a knee. Bad punches Anderson down. He takes an 8 count. Anderson can't seem to get a rhythm going. Bad continues to beat Anderson in the corner. Anderson takes another 8 count. Anderson hangs on to survive the round. Anderson hits a DDT during the rest period. Anderson then attacks Bad during the rest period. Round 3. Bad thrown to the outside. He gets back in and Anderson continues the assault. Anderson corner whips Bad into the stool that Parker is holding up and then hits a spine buster. Finnegan comes in and jumps on Anderson's back. Referee Randy Anderson gets him out. Anderson keeps up the attack. He throws Bad out and Parker attacks him. Rest period. Anderson keeps up the attack. Round 4. Finnegan puts a bucket on Anderson's head. Bad hits the bucket, takes the bucket and his glove off and knocks Anderson out to win the match. We get a feature on Randy Savage. Mike Tenay then interviews Savage. He says that the Avalanche is no match for him. Randy Savage versus the Avalanche. Savage attacks the Avalanche right away. He can't knock Avalanche down. Avalanche goes for a crossbody, but Savage ducks and Avalanche falls outside. Savage hits a crossbody and runs Avalanche into the corner post and ring steps. Back in, Avalanche hits some shots. He gets a 2 count. Savage tries to come back. Avalanche hits a belly-to-belly suplex and a drop kick to Savage. He gets a 1 count. Avalanche misses an elbow drop. Savage thrown to the outside. He is ran into the barricade and in the corner post. Avalanche preventing Savage from getting back in. Savage guillotines Avalanche on the top rope and hits a double axe handle for a 1 count. Avalanche splashes down on a sunset flip attempt. Avalanche steps on Savage and gets a 2 count. Avalanche with a big slam. Avalanche beats Savage in the corner. Savage hits a back elbow for a 2 count. Avalanche catches Savage as he is going for a 2 count. He slams Savage into a turnbuckle and then power slams Savage. Avalanche misses a big splash when Savage moves. Savage with a double axe handle to the outside. A fan jumps over the barricade and attacks Savage. It's Ric Flair dressed as a woman. He and Avalanche attack Savage until Hulk Hogan comes out. Savage wins by DQ despite Tony just saying there can't be a disqualification because it's uncensored. Hogan helps Savage to the back. Mike Tenay interviews Harlem Heat and Sister Sherry. They say tonight the Nasty Boys are going to find out what Harlem Heat is all about. Flashback to what led up to the next match. Mike Tenay interviews Sting. He is fired up for the match. An anything goes match, Sting versus Big Bubba Rogers. The bell rings. Rogers points at Sting, and Sting bites Rogers' hand. Sting attacks Rogers with his own coat. He then stomps Rogers' hat and attacks Rogers. Sting beats Rogers down. He knocks Rogers to the outside. Rogers drags Sting to the corner, but Sting pulls back and Rogers hits the ring post. Sting gets Rogers down. All Sting so far. Sting goes for a leapfrog and gets clipped and goes down. His knee is hurt. Rogers attacks the legs. Back and forth. Rogers is focusing on the leg. Sting fights back. Rogers knocks him down again. He continues to attack the leg. He gets a 2 count. Rogers with a leapfrog body guillotine and a slap to Sting. Sting fights back. Sting with a backdrop, but he is hurt. Rogers works on the ankle some more. Sting trying to get up. Rogers keeps the attack up. He slams Sting. Rogers goes up top, but slips off. Sting goes up top and hits Rogers. He slams Rogers. They trade blows. Sting with a sleeper. Rogers uses his tie to hit a jawbreaker. Sting with a belly-to-back suplex. He gets a 2 count. Both wrestlers down. Rogers runs into the corner when Sting moves. Sting goes for a slam, but Rogers falls on Sting and gets the pin. We then get a Slamboree ad. Flashback to what led to the next match. Texas Tornado Falls Count Anywhere match. Mike Tenay interviews the Nasty Boys. They wanted this match and they got it. Harlem Heat, Booker T, and Stevie Ray with Sister Sherry versus the Nasty Boys, Brian Knobbs and Jerry Sachs. We get a feature on Harlem Heat. Sherry comes out, but Harlem Heat are not with her. The Nasty Boys come out and menace Sherry. Harlem Heat comes from the crowd and attacks the Nasty Boys. This is an all-out brawl. Harlem Heat double teams Knobbs. Sags goes after Sherry. Spike pile driver to Knobbs. Big boot to Sags. They brawl on the outside. Nasty Boys with a double fist to Stevie and a pit stop to Sherry. Nasty Boys put a trash can on Stevie. Sags and Stevie fight towards the entrance. They fight to an obviously fake concession stand area. They throw things at each other and slip and slide all over from drinks and candy spilled. They pour condiments on each other. Knobbs thrown into one of the booths. They slide all over. Sags hits Stevie with a wicker basket and suplexes Stevie. Knobbs and Booker crash through a booth. The Nasty Boys get the pin after Knobbs slams Booker on the booth. Mike Tenay interviews Vader. Vader says the demon stands before Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair is in his corner. Flair says he is a man possessed by Hulk Hogan. He says he and Vader are taking Hulk Hogan out of wrestling. Flashback to what led up to the match. Michael Buffer makes the introductions. Main event strap match. Hulk Hogan versus Vader with Ric Flair. Vader and Flair out first. Hogan comes out alone and he gets a good reaction. Tony and Bobby wonder where the Renegade and Jimmy Hart are. Hart being missing has been a topic of conversation all night. A Hogan chant goes out. Heenan talks about Ric Flair declining because of Hulk Hogan. The Renegade's music hits and he comes out and the fans, I'm sure, think that it's the Warrior. Renegade fights Flair off. Hogan and Vader get the strap put on and start to brawl. Hogan chokes Vader in the corner with the strap. Renegade keeps Flair away. Hogan straps Vader and then straps Flair when he comes in. Renegade chases Flair out. Hogan and Vader each pull the strap. Vader beats on Hogan. Vader chokes Hogan with the strap as the Hogan chant goes out again. Vader takes Hogan's strap off and beats him with it. Jimmy Hart comes from the back. His clothes are torn and he has tape around his wrist. Hogan and Vader go to the outside. Vader grabs a chair and headbutts Hogan. Vader then goes after Hart. Hogan grabs the chair and hits Vader with it. Hogan puts the strap back on and hits Vader with it. Hogan pulls Vader into a ring post several times. He then hits Vader with the chair again. Renegade keeps Flair away. Hogan keeps the assault up on Vader. Hogan drags Vader around outside and gets 2 corners. Vader runs Hogan into the barricade. Back in, Vader chokeslams Hogan. Vader splashes Hogan. I should have said this at the beginning, but do not drink every time the announcers say it's uncensored. Hogan hulking up. He gets 3 corners. A masked man comes out and hits Renegade, and Flair hits Hogan with the chair. Vader gets 3 corners. Flair stops him and tells Vader to splash Hogan. Hogan moves out of the way and Vader hits the chair that Flair put down. Hogan knocks Vader down and whips Flair with the strap. He puts the strap on Flair and drags him around to all 4 corners, and I'm confused. Heenan just shits all over this on commentary, and he is right. All 4 wrestlers are going at it after the match. The masked man comes back out and grabs a chair, but then Arn Anderson comes out with the bodysuit of the masked man on and all tied up, and I'm confused again. The masked man hits Vader and Flair, and it's Randy Savage. The heels bail. They're the lucky ones. They get to leave. Hogan must pose. They recap what happened and signed off from Tupelo. We then get our end credits. Final thoughts. This was a mess of a show. Skip unless you're a completist or a masochist. You can follow me on Facebook, Threads, and Instagram at TheJoeyHarris. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or your preferred podcast app. I would really appreciate it. We can also be found on Spotify and YouTube. Just search for The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you for joining me. This is Joey saying so long from the heart of Virginia.
The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show is a production of Baby Kangaroo Media.